Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from right outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Today we're going to do a little bit of a technique thing with dry embossing, which requires using, let me show you what the pattern is, requires that you use some kind of embossing tool and an embossing plate. We'll get to that in a little bit. First of all, if you're coming to me through YouTube and you want to get the published project page, which is right here, gives you the picture, the instructions for cutting, and a QR code to get to the post. You need to go to my website, which is stampmesilly.com. If you have any questions or if you want to get a free catalog, if you don't already have a demonstrator, go to my email at jandufour@yahoo.com. And then if there's anything you see that you would like to purchase, you can do so by going to my online store at jandufour.stampinup.net. Thanks so much for joining me. We've been doing a lot of page maps and some techniques, so I thought I'd get back to a little bit of card mapping or card making. I did want to tell you that starting in about September, I'm going to weekly have a new technique. Really, most of them are old techniques that I haven't done or seen for a long time. And I will make a card using that, so it won't just be a technique video. All right, so here we go. For this card, which is in Misty Moonlight, we're changing up the colors. Some of you love it and some of you hate it. It's okay. I have other examples to show you as well. We are using Wildly Flowering, which is a really good one. They have neutral ones on the back, but they have very bright flowery colors on the front, which is really good for this particular technique. I'm using some, it's called Petal Pink and White ribbon. You get 5 yards of each one. So put that aside. I did use 2 different stamps sets. This one is called Comforting Thoughts, and that's what'll be on the inside where it says thinking of you, praying for you, and hoping with you. I also made an alternate card using my small business. Although it's for small businesses, there are some really great thank yous on here, which is one of the things I love. So we used that. We also used this Everyday Details die, which is what cut out this. You could just do a plain square. That would work fine. And then just back it. But it worked real well for that. And then the embossing plate I used is from Basic 3D Embossing. And it's got 3 different ones. It's got dots. It's got the one I used, which is flowers. And then it has, I really like this one too. It reminds me of back in the day when we had textured cardstock. It lays just a little bit of texture on it, which makes it really cool. All right, we'll put those away. One of the hints I'm going to tell you about, for this card, I wanted ribbon. I didn't want it bulky. I didn't want to have to go around the whole card before I laid it down. And because it's in 2 pieces, there's a couple ways I tried putting this together so I could still wrap the ribbon around before I put it on my background. So let me talk about some of those ways. One of them, I'm not going to do these now because that's not the way I finally came up with the best one, but I didn't want to tape this or glue this down because I needed to be able to wrap ribbon around it, but I kind of placed it. You put a thin bead of glue in all the ways that I've tried it. You do that. Then you lay this down and you try to figure out where it is for that. Now that worked. I have made 2 cards that way. It's a little bit more finagling than I like. It made it a little bit, you had to wiggle and make sure everything was in the right space. I'm trying to think of what other way I tried that was okay. The easiest way, here's the easiest way. Of course, I used the corner because I wanted to do it. It's 4 right? I put the thin bead down. I laid this on top, and I know that it goes to 4 to 5 and a quarter. So I could lay that down right around 5 and a quarter, and this one right in the bottom, and it made it perfect every time. Now I will show you as I make this. I did put a little bit of two-sided tape on there. This is glass, so it'll come right up without damaging the paper. So we did that, and that just stops it from moving around a little bit. It's not necessary. I did it without. I know this is way in the corner, but I'm using my mat, so I want you to be able to see. And we're gonna put down that thin glue. There we go. And then I took this, and like I said, I put it on 5 and a quarter because I knew that I wanted the inner side, the inside layer. If you look at on my website for free under free pages, that the first layer is 4 by 5 and a quarter, which is what this is here. Again, you can get that chart on my website. All right, so it takes very little time. I'm gonna just pop this up because it's got the glue there, which is not gonna hurt anything. Next, we put on our ribbon. I tried many ways with that. I tried Scotch tape, which is usually the way I do it, but it worked better this way. So I'm using glue dots. I'm putting it on the end of our ribbon. This ribbon is so pretty. Look how it not only shiny, it's striped diagonally. I love it. Anyway, so I kind of centered it here, right? Picked it up. Oops, and of course it's still sticking. And then I just turned this over and put it down. And the glue dot is sticking out a little bit, and that doesn't matter either because we're going to be making it attached to the outer layer. So then, let's see, that's not the right way to do it. Let's do it this way. Take this around, get another glue dot, pull it over, and you're just hiding the intersection. It's not ugly. There's nothing wrong with it. You could do it with, you could also do it with a thin strip of colored cardstock. I didn't have anything contrasting. Get this straight. So I used the white, and I think it looks fine. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down now so that I can stop all of the little things that are sticking down without it bothering. Now, anytime you use embossing, you need not a ton of glue, but you need more contact. So that's more than I usually put on. But that way it gets into the nooks and crannies and helps adhere. This doesn't need that. So that's what we did with that. And we're going to lay this down. If you make sure that the top and 2 sides are even, it will be even on the bottom. That's just the way it works. All right, now to do the second piece, this piece here is 4 inches. I did it with 3, but I had to mess with it too much, and it wasn't worth the inch to me. So when you tie them, I still get a glue dot on my finger. When you tie these, you put this ribbon straight up and down, and then you wrap this around and put it through. Oops, it's not going through the opening. Make it go through the opening. You are the boss. And then before I pull, I don't really pull it tight, but I see how this knot is very flat looking. That's a good thing. I just pull it until right before it starts to scrunch up the ribbon. Now you can move this around, and it could potentially come undone. So to take care of both of those problems, moving and coming undone, enter another glue dot. And when I put this one down, I put it so that it's not only on the ribbon, it's also going to be on the paper. And that'll make sure that it stays where it belongs. Now, I don't do a glue dot on the other one. I'm going to trim these just a little bit. If you feel like this one's popping up and you don't like it, you can certainly put a glue dot under that one as well. All right, so we got the ribbon down. Then, and again, I have all the measurements on the project sheet on my website, stampmesilly.com. And then make sure you don't put any over the dots, because you know what's going to happen when you do that. It's going to ooze out and make a mess. So do not do that. And I did, so the main idea was to make this and this the same color as my base cardstock, which looks great. Even though, see, this is a wild wheat, and a lot of people, oops, well, we are gonna make a mess there. Yep. That's not what I wanted to do anyway. Hello, people. Okay, pay attention. Wipe the glue off. Because I wanted to use dimensionals, Jan. Get with the program. And then use your embossing buddy. Anytime anything is sticky, you can do this. It kind of smells good too. It's not baby powder, but it's not very smell. It doesn't have a really loud smell, but, and then it's not sticky anymore. Yay me. Okay. Where did I put my dimensionals? Right here. So we're going to put dimensionals on it, which of course you did not have to do. I just wanted it up like that. Okay, back to color schemes. I will show you some alternates that I made where I mixed and matched the color, either the stamp pad that I used color or the background color. I'm going to put one more in the middle. Well, all right, dimensionals are fighting me today. So again, the trim, the ink color, and the background or the color base is all the same color. All right. And there you see, wild wheat, which people freak out about, but it pulls out some really pretty colors. And then again, I stamped here in the corner the second sentiment. And I will tell you that my voice is allergy induced. We are having some stuff here in Kentucky. My husband goes out to walk, and when he comes back, of course it's very hot. When he comes back, he's sweaty, and he wipes his arms down, and the paper towel turns yellow with all the lovely stuff that's in the air. So that's what my voice is kind of wacko. It doesn't hurt or anything. I just can't speak cleanly. So I tried, for instance, doing an opposite color, which looked good. I stamped this in a different color. It all looks good. It's just a matter of preference. This one, I went real rogue. This is blue, and then I went with Early Espresso. And then yet I still put the blue on the inside. So it's whatever you like. So this is the sentiment. I wish I could make this better. And then the nice sentiment inside. Let me show you some of the other ones that I did. I made some thanks cards. So this is the Misty Moonlight and Misty Moonlight. This is the Wild Wheat. And the Wild Wheat, I really think it pulls out some of this color. Here's one with Wild Wheat. I could have put it on there, but I wanted more of a contrast, so I used Early Espresso. And again, here's the thanks. Now, I want to tell you one little tip. When I was making the sentiments, how do you get them centered every time? The fastest way to do it, if you're only doing one, is to just stamp first, and then go ahead and cut it out. So you have the opportunity to decide how it's going to be straight. That's time consuming, and it's okay if you're only doing one. I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper. Well, we'll just use this to show you what I did. And I rearranged my whole craft room. So I can't find what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, here we are. we've talked about templates before. They're used when you want to center something and not have to worry about redoing it over and over and over again. And yep, here it is. Here's the one for, let me put that aside. Here's the one for this die cut. Having a hard time talking. So what I did was I cut one out. Doesn't matter where exactly it is. It doesn't have to be right in the middle. It shouldn't be too far up in any of the corners. I would say that it would be best if you stayed away from that. And then I took this stamp. I placed it where I thought it should be. And you'll notice I don't have any cardstock back there. I just have a scrap, and it happens to be, it happens to have a grid paper on it, which is very helpful. But you can buy, cheap grid paper to do that at the store. Of course, Stampin' Up! Sells the background stuff that you can cut up and put in here. This, if you're not familiar with it, is my stamp positioner that I created. If you go on my blog and not Google, search for stamp positioner, this will come up, show you how I made it. The whole thing costs $4 or less. Anyway, if you don't have our wonderful Stamparatus, I feel sorry for you because I have it and I love it, of course. But I'm working on coming up with a recommendation for another brand. Since Stampin' Up! Doesn't have one, I can do that. I bought a smaller version of it, and I'm not happy with it. It doesn't do everything that I want it to do. Nothing will, because only the Stamparatus had those unique features, but whatever. It needed to do more than what I'm doing, so I've ordered a larger version, and then I will look at that, and should I agree that it's probably the best option other than creating your own like this, I can start using it and recommending it. So all you do is die cut a bunch of these. Put this in the corner. Once you've settled it into the right position, we'll use Early Espresso. Then you can actually, and before you put it in the first time, you really should check and make sure it's straight. So we'll press it. And it is very straight, so yay me. Okay, make sure that this is settled in the right spot. And then you can flip it. And as you can see, I've been using this since we got rid of the Stamparatus. And it centers it right where you want it to be. So this works great if you don't want to put out the cost, because buying, especially the larger one, not the largest one, but the larger one, is costly. It's more expensive than what the Stamparatus used to sell for, but there you have it. That's what we got. So, and then, cleaning it off is the same as any other thing. I just pull it off, take my template out. I leave the scrap in there because I can use it for something else. If you have any questions, please email me or comment below. I always check them and make sure I answer questions. Consider subscribing. I post once a week on Wednesdays, unless there's a flash sale, and then I would notify you earlier than that. But generally I post once a week. And be sure to go and get my project sheet, which will be in the description of this particular embossed card with DSP. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Bye.